Okay, I promised a number of people on social media recently who were asking about no dig beds and how to do it that I'd put together a video on exactly that. And so we're going to go over to the bed I'm just completing and show you the 3 or 4 different stages. But it also got me thinking, and that is that a few days ago I was talking to a large number of people about no dig, and quite a few of them had actually been doing it for a long time. So it's over the last few years that Charles Downing has made it popular, but it's been around for a long time. And the other thing is, I'm noticing a lot of videos going out, especially on YouTube, of people giving advice about what to do, and then there's a group that's saying what they are doing, having taken that advice. The majority of the people giving the advice seem to be of an age that were taught by their fathers and their grandfathers before them, and that gives me the impression that a lot of the new stuff that's going out there isn't really being considered by that group. It doesn't make them wrong. I'm just saying that maybe they should be looking at those things. For example, me watching a video the other week, and there's a guy in the back of his shop with huge sacks of peat based compost, which is a big no-no as far as I can see, certainly for the environment, because peat free is being phased out because it is bad for the environment. And another one who is doing his potting in his potting bench, advising people how to do stuff, and right by the side of him he's got a jar of slug pellets. Again, is a big no-no. So there is a market, or a need rather, not a market, but a need for people younger than my age to start learning the new way of doing things, because we've really got to reconsider what we've been taught over the years, either in the books that I've read, or the things I've been taught verbally, or the experiences I've had. And I'm always open to new ideas, which brings me back to this no dig theory, because in actual fact I can see that it's a fantastic way to get kids involved in what we're doing, because it's so easy. They don't need to dig with a fork, so they're not going to stab their feet. They are required to do certain things that they are going to enjoy. For example, in a minute I'm going to show you the fact that we need to push down the compost on the no dig bed, and that is a job that a kid's going to love. And in addition to that, I've also realised that the seed sowing videos I've been doing recently on things like tomatoes, for example, again, a child could get involved with that. Maybe the seeds of the tomatoes are too small, but if you're doing it with them and showing them how to press down the compost and why, and then when you transplant that tomato seedling, you're showing them the roots and how it works, that's got to be a good thing. Get them involved. My other videos about compost and using the Dalek, why are they black? Okay, they attract the light, but they don't have to be black. Surely the kids could put stickers all over them. Why are they hidden? So again, it's another thing. All children like water, all children like dirt, and maybe the best time to catch them is before they get past the age of 13 and become that teenager. Anyway, that's a bit of a rant. Let's go over to that bed and I'll finish it off, and I'll show you the various stages that I've been working on, and I hope you're going to find this all very intriguing. We'll walk over rather than me edit, if you like, because there's a piece of ground here that I want to talk to you about before we go to the other one, and this is to do with a new tomato bed. So let's get set up. Now, this ground here was where I grew the tomatoes last year, and I can make this no dig, but it needs a little bit of work. So for example, we've got this quite tall perennial weed here, and I would be looking to pull that out. Now it is dead. Let's see if I can find a, but it's a perennial, and I don't really want that in the ground because it's quite a resilient thing. And the other thing I would be looking to do before starting this and making it a no dig is getting it as flat as I possibly could. But I don't need to take out all the green stuff, just these large dead weeds, if you like, or perennials waiting to come back in the new season. Anyway, let's get over to that other bed, which is just over there, and I'll show you what I've been up to. Okay, I need to give you another disclaimer. The wind keeps picking up, as usual. Anyhow, let's get on with this. So what I've done is I've created a frame, which is these pieces of wood here, or timber, whatever you want to call them. So I created my box, And then what I've done is I've lined it, but instead of using cardboard, I've actually used newspaper, because it's the same thickness as cardboard. Getting hold of cardboard isn't an easy thing to do here. And if you're concerned about the ink, well, the ink is vegetable based in newspapers these days. They're not solvent based, so it's okay to use. Just like it's okay to put newspaper in your compost. Now to that, I put a layer of sawdust. And the sawdust, I should just finish off covering this with some newspaper. Quite a thick layer. I'll put it all in there. Now this sawdust has come from a wood mill local to me. What I'm going to do is push it right up into all the corners, cover all this newspaper. And anyway, the sawdust contains absolutely no MDF. The wood, it's not been treated before it was turned into whatever it was turned into. Now, what child would not like to be playing in this? They play in sand, so they would love playing with this stuff, because it's quite fine. They're not going to get splinters. It's clean. It's not going to hurt them. Why should all the adults have all the fun, huh? Anyway, so they're there, and then what we need to do is we'll come round this way. I've got my wheelbarrow, and I'm going to be throwing some green waste compost, some matured green waste compost, straight onto this. So you've got to make sure that the ground is level first of all, and if it isn't, and you've got like some holes in there, then you want to be filling those in first, and you could use any spare soil you got from the garden. Luckily in this area I didn't have to do that, but you want to get it level because soil in itself is quite dense. I know I've got a lot of American viewers, so I should really clarify, because the Americans say soil, which is what they mean by this compost type material I'm putting on now, and what we know as soil they call dirt. But anyhow, you get the gist. And if you put soil against compost, soil is very, very dense, and it won't fall down. But if you put compost down, it drops down. So it's not something you don't want to be filling your holes in with compost. You're going to do it with soil just to keep its integrity. Now, again, the kids could have been using their little spades, etc., or you could have been filling them up in with their little buckets so they could help themselves from the wheelbarrow and chucking it on for you. Obviously, they're not going to be exact as like what we are. Do you like my English? But it doesn't matter. This is the beauty. It doesn't matter. Now you'll also notice that I've got this newspaper going underneath the border of the wood and then out, and that's to stop any weeds growing, create a pathway or a barrier, so that this ground here, which is the same as what's underneath there, doesn't start encroaching. Now I thought I'd picked an easy day wind wise, but then halfway through it started to pick up, so, and now I've got most of this job done, it's disappeared. But there we go. Right, now I'm going to reposition the camera, because I'm going to show you something that the kids will absolutely love doing with this. Let's go and take a look. Okay, now I'm stood up a bit to pick up the breeze. Now this is quite an important part of this process. You want to be firming down all your materials, because it keeps it easier to, it makes it easier, first of all, to stop the wind blowing any of the light compost away, but you want quite a firm ground, if you like, I don't know, or bed, now it's in this frame, to plant into. As I say, compost bounces back. The other good thing about this is that when the kids are on it, compost doesn't stick to your boots or your shoes, so they're relatively clean. Whereas on soil or dirt, the mud sticks, as we know, and then they go running around your grass and you're not very happy. Anyway, that is the basics of this. So that's taken less than an hour to put all that stuff together. Okay, let's say half an hour getting all the materials to its location, but that's it. That's done. That would have taken an absolute age to dig and get ready to plant, and you wouldn't have been able to do it with children. They would have been interrupting you, you know, needing a wee or wanting something to eat or wanting a drink. So you'd have that would have taken quite a bit of time. So I would say that would be about 3 hours or so to dig, another hour to interruptions. So that's 4 hours, whereas it's an hour and a half just to do that. So you've saved yourself 2.5 hours on that particular job that you can spend, leading the kids a story perhaps, or showing them how to sow some seeds. Now let me just show you another benefit of the no dig beds, and that's up in the onions, because I've had a little bit of an issue with some weeds popping through, so I just want to go and show you that. Okay, we're not with the onions actually, we're with the garlics, and what I wanted to show you was, you can see all the garlics are growing through, but I am getting a few weeds that are growing, which is through the horse manure that I applied, and you'll always have some seeds. And if you look there, I've got some grass. But here's the best thing about this no dig: there's absolutely no effort in pulling that out. That can go in the compost, but if that had been soil, that would have been very hard to get it out of the ground. So that's another bonus. So what bonuses have we got? You get the kids involved, they're going to love it, you can walk on it, and it's not going to stick to your shoes or your boots. It's better for the environment, it saves you shed loads of time. The garlics love it, look. And the kids are picking up on something new. Or are they going to spend the rest of their time digging, hunting their birds? Why would they do it? Okay, so we've seen another couple of benefits with the no dig system and using compost. Very easy to weed. You will get weeds, you can't stop that, but they're a lot easier to get out of the ground than trying to do so with soil. Now, I'm not leaving it like this. What I should do in the next couple of weeks or so is give it a layer of garden compost, and it will settle down, and then by the time bringing out the tomatoes is concerned already, this bed will be nice, so I can put the tomatoes down one side and perhaps some celery leaves along the front. Happy days. Well, I hope you got something out of that. Like I say, it's so easy to do. It doesn't matter how much space you've got, it's so easy to create a no dig bed. Now, whether you want to do 1, 5, 10, 50, it doesn't matter. You don't need to do the edges around the side if you don't want to. I've only done that today just to hold the newspaper in place. But basically, whether you use cardboard or newspaper, just make sure that you cover every line, that there's no holes or gaps showing, so that the light can't get through, because that's all you're looking to do, is to cover the ground, not let any light in, to kill off any weeds that you may already have there. I use that mulch as sawdust because I want to retain moisture, as we have a big problem here with rainfall. I don't know if I mentioned in the last video that we only had half the amount of rainfall we should have had for this year in February, so that is a big concern, and we had a really serious heat wave last year, and that's affected the country's crop of potatoes as well as onions. And again, that's another video I'm going to be doing. I've already done one about chitting the potatoes and how I'm going to be growing them in pots. That's another thing the kids can get involved with. You've got the pots all together, you've got your compost ready, you're chitting your spuds and ready to plant them. The kids can get involved. They're going to love this sort of stuff. And the thing is, you ask anybody of your age when you were gardening, what is your earliest memory of it, and your fondness, chances are you'll go back to one of your parents, your mum, your dad, your granddad, your grandma, an uncle, an aunt, whatever, and you remember that first occasion. I certainly do. Some of it was good, growing radishes, because it's a fast thing to grow and kids want to see an instant result. You can try mustard cress, for example. That'll do it on a bit of tissue like we used to do. Anything. Now, as I say, if you get anything out of this, give me a thumbs up and like it. Subscribe is even better. But if there's anything you want me to cover, then again, leave me a comment, let me know what it can be, and if I can do it for you, then I certainly will. In the meantime, take care. I'm going to go and get my jacket off that post before it blows away, and then start working on that other side where I showed you from the beginning of the video. Take care now.